and put personnel together to form what is a good team. They're looking to try and have no outlets for their opposition.
And a big part of that these days is the fast bowling attack. They've always had good spin bowlers, always relied heavily on spin. Probably the best that Bangladesh has been in terms of fast bowling and fast bowling resources. And Shoriful Islam is one of the new additions that's really aided that. They now have 3 fast bowlers and 2 spinners as balanced attack. Two left armers. Taskin is a little bit taller, so he gets a bit more. And this is why that guy Shakib Al Hasan is so crucial in the lineup, because bats at number 3, bowls in the power play, bowls middle overs, and then you have Mahedi Miraj that sort of rounds up the bowling attack with his off spin. So a really balanced attack, as you say.
Oh, there you go. There's that ball that he bowls. It's difficult to see because of that wrist, those loose wrists. So when he bowls the normal delivery and it comes through at pace as well, it kind of, you watch his wrist here. See that? That's for the slower ball. And see how it just flicks out like that. And it surprises Van der Dussen. He's reaching and reaching and the ball's never getting to him because he's not picked that it's a slower one out the hand.
And when it's bowled at Dhaka, it's like a spitting cobra.
Not too far away there, I tell you. All's well that ends well. Yeah, and nerves justified because home side, well, just at the minute being dominated by the visitors. Yeah, this was sort of a bit of a mix-up. They thought there was one, and nope, it wasn't on. Still nothing. Just the one off. 69 for 3. It's tough as a partnership. What they want, Bavuma and Van der Dussen, is to get into some sort of zone where they control how things go. At the minute, it's not that at all. They're basically struggling to rotate strikes, struggling to get some sort of flow into their own innings individually, but also as a partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. Mustafiz has been unbelievable when he's come on. He's got some good fielders in the covers as well. Afif, Hussain, Dhrubo, Mahedi. We're talking about rhythm and getting into your rhythm of your innings. He doesn't allow you because he's quite accurate. He gets the ball back quickly, then he's at you again, and he's at you again. And it's dot after dot, and it builds up.
Yeah, the time it ebbs away. And the scoreboard, well, that just keeps ticking on. Rate required at the start, 6.3. That's gone up. Now up to 7.7. They have good memories, Bangladesh, of playing against South Africa. And we go on about memories, but it's important. Shot. Yeah, gets across the field, across the turf, Afif, in the deep then.
Yeah, young guy.
Yep, youngster out there. Yeah, say about memories. It's important. I mean, think of records, and so many will refer to them, the psychological barriers for you start to believe you can, and as a team it would have been, you know, an insurmountable scenario sort of turning up in South Africa for many years for them. And now that they've beaten South Africa, albeit in England, they know they can.
Absolutely, they know they can, and these reference points are very important because, as you say, confidence gets built from it and the belief gets built from it. Into the 19th over now, 75 for 3.
Yeah, look at that. 330 for 6. Familiar names getting runs for them. Mushfiqur didn't get any today. What a day it was for Bangladesh and South Africa. Had 3, I remember 3 right up at the start of the World Cup and couldn't get going at all. 3 early games, lost them 3 on the bounce, and there'd have been many who'd have been looking at that Bangladesh game, I think it was the second game, and saying, well, at least there's that one in there they can win, as you know they would think. Well, they were turned over. Bangladesh played beautifully on the day. South Africa really had no answers. Familiar faces. Ahmadullah Riaz at the back end with the 46 not out, played some wonderful shots. But Shakib, as well as Mushfiqur Rahim, and then in the bowling as well, they were good. Started off well. Just be a single.
Yeah, and the other reason why that victory would be so significant for Bangladesh cricket, they had actually beaten us before in the 2007 World Cup as well, but that was in Guyana. And a surface very similar to subcontinent conditions, so they were comfortable there. They played really well in the day, and it was a good victory for them. But this was done in England in conditions that would suit South Africa more. And so any need these for building their confidence. Lovely stroke out by Temba to deep point. Afif cleans up again.
Attar Ali Khan is here with us, and part of the day, and bullish because one, Iqbal Hassan bowling that slowy, then all the others can.
Not so quick around the boundary, but a good clean pickup, and he does have a strong arm, so good decision there by Rassie and Temba not to go for the second.
Yeah, did well up at the front, Tuscan. 2 for 15. Yeah, top bowler, Mustafizur. Just the 4 off, now to close it out. Yeah, which one? What do you reckon? I think it's Mahmudullah Riaz who's at mid-off there, just kind of got some confirmation. This is what I'm thinking. What do you reckon? Don't know how wise it is to ask the batter, to be honest. No run. Good over.
And sometimes, you know,
unity
where the South Africans are looking at their bowling attack and thinking perhaps off.
Yep, he'll go at it. Will van der Dussen. The man moved a little straighter and is gone for the reverse. Gets 4 and brings up the 50 partnership.
And straight away the pressure is on the off spinner. They've held him back in the bowling attack. They might have been thinking when the left-hander David Miller comes in, we'll bring him on when Miller's there at the crease, but they can't hold him back too much longer, and he started with 2 fours back-to-back. So Rassie van der Dussen transferring the pressure back onto this Bangladeshi bowling attack.
And then one straight away. A calm in their demeanour and the way that they operate, and they'll just look to try and bat together as long as possible. It's tough to defend here at Supersport Park. They'll know this, both being players who play in the high felt, and they'll know if they can take it as deep as possible, even if that rate climbs, if it gets to 10s and 11s, if there's somebody who's in, then they have a chance. And what you don't want to do is go too soon and lose another couple of wickets.
Absolutely. And if you can up your run rate by hitting 4s, less risky than having to go for the 6s, as Rassie has done in this over. He's got 1 through to the cover boundary and then 1 reverse sweep as well. And they've picked off 11 of the over, up in the ante without much risk at the moment. So very good over for South Africa. After 21 overs now, 90 for 3.
The Worms, yeah, still touching. Same stage, Bangladesh hadn't lost a wicket. They were 94 without loss. And their start was quite slow. Built and built and built for the crescendo at the end, even though they lost wickets. Time for a change upstairs. Sean Pollock and Britt Proctor.
Thanks, Pom. Tuskin back into the attack. He's bowled beautifully. The right arm quick. He bowled at good pace, and his control was quite outstanding. He's switched ends now. And I think for the most part, Bangladesh will be delighted with the way they've played. Their batting was outstanding. They've out-bowled the South African seamers. They've bowled at greater pace and better control. They've in foreign conditions to Bangladesh, they've utilized them superior. Driven and through for 4. Gee, he's become a good one-day player.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This, for me, probably the shot of the day. And the reason why I say it is just the noise it made off the bat and the placement, how quickly it went to the boundary. It really was top-notch from Rassie van der Dussen.
I always feel there's question marks against Rassie van der Dussen's run scoring ability at the highest level. And then you look at his numbers in one-day international cricket. He's averaging 75. You know, okay, anybody can have, well, not anybody, but people do have averages of 75. But on much smaller sample sizes than 33 one-day internationals. He scored nearly 1,300, well over 1,300 runs now. And you're averaging 75 with those statistics, the amount of cricket you've played, the number of runs you've played. He's the real deal.
I think domestically, before he comes into the South African side, he ends up becoming the senior pro in the environment. So he's the one who they want to bat for a period of time and not throw it away and try and work out the tempo of the game, what's required in the chases. And he's brought that exact game finesse to the international level, particularly in the ODIs.
Cut away down towards third man on the bounce. Just the one. I think he's a pretty good assessor of situation. Like, as much as well as Shakib played, and he's decided to press the accelerator early. I think this man leaves it late as possible, but he somehow contrives to pace it well.
quite a few Bangladesh fielders who were asking the question of their boundary rider to maybe try and get himself in a bit quicker and try and get his... I think they understand the importance of a breakthrough here. The partnership 59.
Cut away. It's a good stroke. It's just one. He's played a number of really good offside strokes, off back and front foot now, Themba Bavuma. But as always, they've just gone to the sweeper for the single.
Yeah, Bangladesh lost their first wicket in the 22nd over. They were now 99 for 1. It was Shakib Ul Hasan who strode to the crease and hit his second delivery. Fantastic boundary. South Africa 96 for 3. So even Stevens in that department. All depends on what South Africa can do going forward.
The next actual 10 to 12 overs was South Africa's when they were in the field. They took 3 wickets for 29 runs, and it was round about over number 33, 34, that Shakib, when Patlakwa came back for a second spell, and Ngidi did the same. That's when Shakib said, I'm going, and boy, did he go. The end of the 22nd, it's 96 for 3. What do we call that? Harvest moon?
Not the Water Boys.
I don't know what you mean. Good stand, needed stand from 36 for 3 when Markram fell for naught. And poor Aiden Markram is wrecked and continues. Just it happens to even the best. It's just, where is my next run coming from? Where does he go? IPL, so that's a testing school. You can't really shy away from one after another. You've got to find form quickly. Here's Mahidi. Squirted out behind square. It's just going to be... Oh, he's coming back for the second. That was good running from Bavuma in the sense that it always looked like one, but when he saw the opportunity of the left-handed fielder having to run around the ball, gee, did he get the skates on.
I was thinking more of the fact that it's good running in the sense that he had a hamstring issue not so long ago in the innings, and he seems to have overcome that. That's proper. Pumping the legs.
Scampered and immediately going for the groin. Yeah, no, he felt it. Come on, Skip, we don't want that.
Good boy. Ito, mira, Shamire.
Pulled, oh, straight to mid-wicket.
I get the feeling that Mahidi needs a few dot deliveries to really try and settle into what his line is, because South Africa are not going to let him settle. They want to go after him.
Chipped away. It'll just be one this time. Often when he senses short stuff from the spin bowler, he really can hop back and pounce on it. What a good puller of slow stuff is Bavuma. This time he picked out the fielder.
Interesting field they got now. A single.
It's become the norm, isn't it, in modern cricket? Leave that hole and have 2 backward points.
Oh, yes, me.
It's almost as if protecting against Van der Dussen's success with the reverse sweep. A single, sometimes 2 if the shot is weighted well enough to that vacant mid-wicket position. And there's the 100 for South Africa at the end of the 23rd over.
Yeah, it's been a nice recovery by these two. 63 of 87 deliveries. Their asking rate is still at 8 to the over. So they're nowhere clear of any danger, and there's going to be some proper batting required in order to chase down the further 216 runs of 162 deliveries. But a partnership was key, and they've managed to produce it.
Valuable. very valuable, just in the context of getting them an outside chance. 8 and over from here is still a lot of runs and a lot of overs to be scoring 8 and over. Bangladesh, they'll always reassure themselves, did exactly that against the much vaunted South African attack. That's what's required. Van der Dussen on 47. Paddled away to the sweeper for 1.
Come on.
Qatar just steepled a little on the diminutive Bavuma. He coped with it well enough. Just get a sense, Sean, trying to rethink the respective pace attacks here. There were a lot more boundary balls bowled by the South African pacers than we've seen from the Sharifuls, the Mustafizurs and Taskins.
Yeah, I think they were also, in many ways, trying to implement a game plan against the nature of this plain surface, trying to stay away from the short boundaries, trying to mix things up.
In the air, it's going to be caught, or was it going all the way? It goes all the way off the top edge. It's a 50 for Rassie van der Dussen, gleaned in some fortunate fashion. It's gone off the top edge, perilously close to the long leg for 6, but it is another one-day international half-century. Number 11 for Rassie van der Dussen.
Yeah, you'd have to say this is a fortunate boundary to bring about the 50, but everything before it has been class from van der Dussen. He got 129 not out, 37 not out, 52 out in his last series against India, and he's back. Backed it up here with achieving a 50 again, every 11th one, so that's basically the top edge was going to be taken on the boundary, but we know the nature of the half-veld. Every once in a while it just flies that 5 to 10 meters further than you think it will. His heart would have been in his mouth at that stage, but eventually actually comfortably over the fine leg.
You're quite right. I mean, halfway through its passage I thought long leg didn't have to move, but it got over him by a good 4 or 5 meters. Well played, Rassie van der Dussen, but he knows right there, it's a mild acknowledgement. He knows there's a lot more to be done. Keen, ambitious, the appeal that is.
Yeah, the way they've appealed, I'm sure they're going to be sending this up. Then move him a rock back to try and cut it down to backward point, and I think they feel that it hit the top of the pad first. 3, 2, 1. No, they're not going to go up. Banged him back of a length. Actually hit the thigh pad first. No, not much going for it really.
No. Probably hence the wry smile from Maria Erasmus going, fellas, you refer this one at your peril. The quick bouncer again. It's been wided. South Africa bowled a bucket load of wides. 2 no balls as well. That's just the second wide bowled by Bangladesh.
I always feel for the bowlers in these situations. Here's a look at that appeal again, comfortably outside the off stump. Height-wise, it probably would have gone on to maybe go past at bail high, but comfortably outside the off stump.
Just to the 2 wides bowled here by Bangladesh. 2 no balls and 11 wides bowled by South Africa in a different bowling performance. Beats him outside the off stump. 10 from the over. It's 110 for 3.
Yeah, Tuscan's been really good, hasn't he? Both spells so far. Nearly created a wicket there in the last over, but it's been 50 for Van der Dussen. It was his, I think his first delivery or second delivery. He just managed to get away through the covers. He's mixed it up with some good finesse, been strong on any bad deliveries. His placement has been wonderful as well. Whenever he's decided to execute, he's managed to find the gaps and invariably the boundaries. Use that reverse sweep to good effect. This was, for me, the shot of the day, the cover drive, and that was the boundary to take him to that 50 milestone. You said he's still got a lot to do. Well, he's got to get still 20 just to get his average.
Exactly. I just thought one of the features of that package, when he's building his innings, you never get a sense that Rassie van der Dussen is trying to overhit the ball. Even the reverse sweep, it's just to make sure of placement. That back foot stroke he hit off Mahedi, the short one, he opened the face, angled it past extra, and hit it hard enough just to beat the sweeper coming round. Doesn't have to thrash it for four, he just gets it in the gap and makes sure the fast outfield does the rest.
Yeah, if I had to assess him from playing the spin perspective, I would say when you get down to the subcontinent, he may still have to work on a few things in order to be able to knock the ball around, but he's got a game plan, and the game plan takes pressure off him. He's so comfortable sweeping square with the orthodox sweep or the reverse sweep that invariably within the first 5 to 10 deliveries that he faces, he implements those shots superbly and gets one away or two away to the boundaries, and that just takes the pressure off him. And I think that's the key. That's part of what the experience does. It gives you that ability to take the pressure off yourself, give you extra time to be at the crease just to get yourself in, and then you can look to play your normal game.
Yeah, he's certainly grown with his ability to play spin. I mean, he played Chahal, the Indian spinner, in the ODI down. This is Mahedi Hassan Miraz. He'll be going to the half-century maker. 205, a massive 205, still needed off 156 balls. That's 7.9 to the over. Wants two. Bavuma going to come back? No, not with that leg.
Come boys, come boys, come boys. Here we go,
You can see the field that changes. Man comes across to leg side, and the two men behind square is just the one now on the offside.
Oh, a lovely tossed up delivery. Attempted the big stroke, and you saw Bavuma shape as if to do so, and then just
It's flat for the South African surfaces. In Bangladesh, you can fire it in at pace, and it often grips and holds up a little bit, but here it tends to skid on.
whipped away in the gap. Look at that placement again from Van der Dussen. Footwork was good, got himself in a position just to flick. Didn't power it, but the placement was perfect.
It's got the keeper and bowler looking at each other going, how did that get to the fence? We thought maybe cut off the second strong position, and then just a whip of the wrists means it comes off the bat with some fair pace. Placement.
Look at that, right between the two boundary riders. Easy two. This is the key to Rassie van der Dussen and building the pressure, building the pace of the innings, his ability to place.
Yeah, partnership 82 of 98. He's striking at a run a ball or just better. Temba Bavuma is just under 60. So he has been so key to this fight back.
He's proved a bit of a problem for Tamim Iqbal, the skipper. This is the end of his third over. He's going for eights and over. It just lifted the pressure a little bit off these two South African batsmen. Same stage, Bangladesh for 1-1-2 for 2.
Yeah, most of the bowlers have operated at a reasonably decent economy rate. Maybe 3 overs 25. He's just under 8.5, which is above the required rate for South Africa, so they won't mind him continuing. There is the scenario to reach the target. The longer this partnership goes, the more South Africa start to head into the pound seats.
It's still a tough task. but it hasn't, in terms of run rate, gone upwards for the last 5 overs. In fact, it's diminished to decimal points. 7.8 to the over required. And Tuskin moves into his 8th. You get a sense here, Sean, with Tamim Iqbal playing the trump card here, Tuskin into his 8th. I mean, we're halfway through, only just halfway through the innings, and he's taking the Tuskin option out of the equation unless he strikes now. That's the trump he's trying to play, break the partnership through Tuskin.
I think it also goes down to Mr. Vazur and how they consider him. I think they just really do believe at the back end he is the key with those variations that he possesses. The only thing I would be the partnership, I feel that the outside edge is more likely than anything else.
Clipped away to the onside sweeper. One of the other indications of the increasing parity in this run chase is the majority Bangladeshi crowd has got a little quiet. It's been very boisterous for the early part of the innings and the latter part of the Bangladeshi innings.
Yeah, don't touch the money. One wicket here.
They'll be boisterous again.
Yes.
Now those faces are telling a tale. They're getting a little bit worried.
Yeah, there's some concern, definitely concern. Hey, arms crossed, bad body language.
You don't like crossed arms. Trying to be calm.
I don't
cool.
mind it. It's just I've been told that if you stand there with crossed arms, it's bad body